Okay, this is American Contractor. I'm gonna do something new. This is the Dinar Vets. This is an Adobe PDF that I just copied, and apparently this person who runs the site, I guess, his name's Adam Montana. He goes by the name Adam Montana, some nickname or moniker he's using. Notice how nobody uses their real names anymore. But he does his weekly, if you see here, questions for Adam's update 12/31/2014 New Year's Eve. And I guess today he didn't do his answers to his subscribers or forum members or whatever, and so I thought I'd just do it today for him. Now, I highlighted the questions, so we'll just take the first question here from New York Kevin. He asks, what are some sources I and others on DV can access online so I can monitor the note count on the IQD and possibly other foreign currencies? That's a good question. Well, if you look back, I think 2 days ago, I did a video on the note count back in 2003 from an official government document. So you might, New York Kevin, might want to go check out that video that I did. It's on the American Contractor YouTube channel, and you can find out. But I'll just let you know that they did printed 4.6, I believe it was, trillion Iraqi dinars. So that's how much dinars 4.6 trillion was printed up back in 2003, October 15th. And the exchange window was from October 15th, 2003 to January 15th, 2004. So the U.S. government, the Iraqi government, different coalition forces made it happen where they distributed Iraqi dinar, 4.6 trillion into the country. And other access, online access to monitor the note count. Another good place is the CBI website, which they disclose everything on there about their note count and how much it is. I think right now is around 38 trillion, I think it is, currency outside the banks. And then maybe I should do a video on that too and show everyone how to get that information, how to see it, how to read it properly. It's quite lengthy. And other currencies, other foreign currencies, just go to the xe.com. There's plenty of websites you can look at. I guess the second comment I didn't highlight here, Russian ruble is looking good. Yes, they say it's looking good when it drops down really low, because it's always going to go back up because the President Putin will make sure it goes back up. Guarantee it. Let's go to the next question. NW Guy. With everything going on right now and the U.S. bringing in more troops, do you think the U.S. is there to stabilize the security for Iraq during the reevaluation process? Well, first, the U.S. is bringing in troops. I don't know if they're bringing in more troops. They will be bringing in exactly about 1,000, maybe 1,200 more troops next month, in about 3 weeks, from the 82nd Airborne Division out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And they'll be deployed to Iraq to train the Iraqi security forces, the Iraqi army, basically. I don't think they have a mission to stabilize. Actually, not my fault. They will have a mission to stabilize Iraq as far as not having the Iraqi army being attacked. They'll be training the Iraqi army, but if they're engaging combat, it's because they're defending themselves. They won't be actively engaging combat because they haven't been given the okay for that. But I imagine give it some time. They'll get the word to start engaging the Islamic State, the Daesh, and start eliminating them. And the second part of the question he has is, during the reevaluation process, I don't know what reevaluation process you're talking about. There is none right now. They don't even have a working budget right now, a concrete, agreeable budget. Let's go to the next question by Jaman, Jaman. He's asking, thought I'd look into getting a VIP stat, and all I get is my history. Also, I'm a vet. Any help? I have no idea what he's talking about there. I thought he was talking about the Iraqi Dinar. My fault. We'll skip that. Here's one from Deborah Lane. Deborah Lane is asking, if this does drag on past your own perceived time frame, I have no idea what this time frame is, a series of events, what will you be looking for next? I'm assuming she's talking about the revaluation or redenomination, LOP, appreciate the currency, deappreciate the currency, devalue the currency. I mean, I don't know. But the series of events you're going to look for is, one, Islamic State's going to be eradicated from Iraq. All provinces in Iraq will be under Iraqi government control. I already just mentioned to you that I did an article about 3 days ago maybe. I told you that the Central Bank of Iraq governor is very nervous, and he wants to make sure he doesn't do anything about the Iraqi Dinar currency as far as printing lower denomination, any kind of printing at all. And if he does, it's going to be real selective. But he wants to wait until after all provinces in Iraq are under our government control, Iraqi government control. So that's the word I'm getting. That's straight from the Economic Committee, straight off of Basra. And that's a good friend of mine. Won't mention his name, but that's what the word is from what he's telling me. And another thing I'll be looking at is also, more cooperation between the Kurdish government and the Iraqi government. Also, you're going to see, hopefully, Sunni groups align themselves with the government. Everything's up in the air right now because the Iraqi government is not arming or not even assisting at all the people in Anbar, the Sunnis in Anbar who are fighting the Islamic State. So there's a lot of things that need to be happening. Got any tips on an investment? No, I'd stay out of the market right now because everything's manipulated right now. You can see it by the way the stock market went to 18,000. It's all manipulation. I'd stay out of it. Next question is RSL 1512. With the latest report of the 7th being the second reading of the budget, do you think, in your opinion, this is it, or do you see taking it more time? The 7th, he's talking about, I'm sure, the budget, January 7th, which is a Thursday. Yes, they'll probably do a second reading that day, but will it be that's it and it'll take more time? And the answer is yes, it will be. There's still several complications with the budget, and it has to do with the oil structure, the agreement with the Kurdish government and the oil structure of how they're going to payments and how they're going to calculate how much oil is going out, stuff like that. They already have the amount, but remember I told you like last April, last May, I told you if the Kurdish don't like it when the central employees, central government employees go up to Kurdistan and start poking around, looking at different meters, oil meters, seeing how many trucks are being loaded up, how many trucks are moving out, how many trucks are moving in. They don't like that. The Kurds don't like that because, of course, they won't like it because they're doing something that's just not legal. And that's just the sad truth. You can dispute me on that, but that's what's going on. Second question is from RSL 1512. With all of the BS going on out there, does the USC really have any say in Iraq RV and their currency? And the answer to that is no. The United States government has no oversight, nothing over the Central Bank of Iraq or the Iraqi government in any kind of revaluation of their currency at all. None whatsoever. They stay out of it. But one person or one group that does have influence, and that's the International Monetary Fund and also the World Bank. So they do have some influence. They do give guidance, but it's up to the Iraqi government to say yes or no. I mean, how many benchmarks did the IMF give to the Iraqi government in the Central Bank of Iraq over the last 5 years? And how many benchmarks did the Iraqi government meet? There's not a whole lot. They didn't even do half of it. So that's that. They could care less what the IMF says, in my opinion. Cold War Vet has a question. He says he's asking, the news of January 7th budget vote pushes the rate announcement back to that date as well, since Governor Shabibi has always said that it's best that a new rate starts at the beginning of the year. How likely do you think it would be that rate is announced around January 1st and then the budget with new rate is voted on January 7th? It's too many questions there. Let's see. Like I said, the January 7th vote. Actually, it's not even a vote. It's just going to read it and make sure that everybody agrees on it. If people are not going to agree on it, which I highly believe that the parliament members will not agree on they might have a reading, but they're not all going to agree. They're just going through the motions, folks. They're just trying to go through the motions. I don't think it'll be finalized done on January the 7th. You're still going to go into the late January before it's actually completed. It could be till February. Remember, the budgets of 2012, 2013, they didn't get finished until March. I know people have short memories, but 2012 budget, 2013 budget didn't get completed until about March. I know people got short memories out there, but they just don't realize, just watch Iraq. They don't watch it like I do. But see, the next question is, since Governor Shabibi has always said that it's best that the new rate starts at the beginning of the year, you know, Iraqi government year is January 1 to December 31st. They follow the same as the United States, and yes, I believe that is correct, but not this time. As I told you in the report, that they're not going to start doing their currency until January. Actually, the first quarter. They really haven't nailed it down yet, but it's the first quarter of 2016. Now, keep in mind, when the Iraqi government has complete control of the provinces also. That's one of the stipulations. And you can, be upset about that or not, or disagree, but that's straight from the Basra Economic Committee, which I won't reveal. That's a good friend of mine, and I won't reveal his name, but the governor said that once all provinces are under Iraqi control, that's when you're going to see things start moving with the currency. Let's see if I missed out. How likely do you think will be the rate is announced around January 1? I don't think they'll have a new rate on January 1, which is tomorrow. Let's see if there's other questions. Another question by Rod and Staff, I believe. Shabibi might be back to the CBI, if not already. Well, let me stop right there. Just think about this for a second. Why would Dr. Sinan al-Shabibi go back to the Central Bank of Iraq? Let me guess. Let me put it this way. I'm going to live in Baghdad, or I want to live in Switzerland. Enough said. Then in the near future, what is your take on how it would affect the RV? No effect, because he's not going to be there. I've always liked him for a bean counter and always doubted the charges against him, but is he, in your opinion, good for Iraq's economy and healthy? Well, he's not there, and I don't, say he's living a good life right now in Switzerland. Let's go to the next question. Ebert, my question in regards to the HCL. I know we have a HCA, but how long do you think it would take for HCL, or is it the budget for 2015? I have no idea what HCA is. HCL, folks, for all you don't know what that means, is the hydrocarbon law, which is wrong because they don't call it HCL, folks. Get it right. They call it the oil and energy. That's it. Oil and energy law, actually. So stop saying HCL. Whoops. Okay. How long do you think it'll take HCL? I don't think the oil and gas law will be passed this year. Obviously, because tomorrow's 2015. I don't even think it'll be passed in 2015 because the agreements between the central bank and the Kurdish government, they're still up in the air. Remember, back in September, the Kurdish government says we'll join the Iraqi government, but remember what they said. You're on probation for 90 days. Yes, and the 90 days up, which was last month, was end of November. They did do that agreement with the actually in December they were past that, the 90 days, and they did the agreement with the Kurdish government. And it's not even a concrete deal, folks. It's just not solid. They're still going to go through. There's a lot more problems in that bill, but they're willing to agree and talk it over and try to work something out. I'm telling you, it's going to be a long, drawn-out deal. Don't expect to be over and done with next week. Do you think we will see RV sometime in 2015 first quarter? My gut feeling is, what I'm saying is, I don't think so, because of what the CBI have said about they're not going to do anything until all provinces in the country are under Iraqi government control. Let's go to the next question. Oops. Next question from POPS, I guess Pops. It's a simple question. If we don't see any change by 1/11/15, are we in for another long haul? My simple question, quick answer is yes. I think we're going to be in for another long haul. And the reason being is because the Islamic State, the Daesh, the criminals, the murderers, the terrorist organization is one major problem. It's a thorn in the Iraqi government's side. The second thorn in their side is the Iranians, most particularly the Shia militias of the Iranians and the Shia militias of Iraqis and every other terrorist organization that's operating in Iraq. That's going to be it's the biggest problem that they have. You know, when people are scared to go out their doors, go out their houses to go to work, there's going to be a problem with the security. Obviously, there's a problem with security. There's going to be a problem with going to work. If I work at a shop and I can't get there, or I'm scared to go there because I might get harassed or put in jail or sent off somewhere, and you know, you're not going to do that. So they got a big problem. Big problem. But let's go to the next question from BJ in Montreal. So it seems the drop in oil has hurt the Iraqis as much as other countries. Would a body's budget based on lower oil be enough to stir the need to change for the average Iraqi citizens? Or will they have to wait for oil to rebound? A $23 trillion dinar deficit is nothing to sneeze at. Yeah, it's going to change because they're making less money. There's less revenues coming into the Iraqi government. So if there's less money coming in, that means they can't fund any projects. So what they're going to do, they're going to prioritize their budget, meaning they have to feed the people. So that's going to be in the budget. And they have to fund their army and security forces. All those other government projects, all those other fancy projects they got, like a fancy airport or a fancy mall, you know, the world's largest mall or whatever, that's going to be put to the wayside. If not, it's going to be squashed because they can't afford it, because the oil is 50% of their 2013 budget. Go back and read that article I wrote through 2, 3, 4 days ago. I told you that actually it's the Iraqi Dinar revaluation article. Just look at the top there, the AmericanContractor.com website, and just go ahead and read it. In 2013, they had a budget for the oil price for $106 and some change. Well, the oil price right now is 50% of that. So how many of those projects are going to be squashed back in 2013 that they set out that they're going to do? I hope I'm getting my point across. You understand what I'm saying? But that's how it's going to be. They're just hurting. Yeah, they have no cash. And that was the end of the questions. Sorry that this character out of Montana didn't do his thing for the people, but hey, I'll just square it away for him. In fact, I think I do a better job anyways. But this is the American Contractor, and I appreciate it that you're listening to me for the last 20 minutes rambling on. But hope you learned something. If you have any questions, just go ahead and you can send me an email at ac@americancontractor.com, or you can send me a text message or give me a call at 931-444-7110. And my contact information at the end of the video. I'll leave some descriptions below this video. Be sure to go to my YouTube channel and maybe subscribe. And maybe if you're not on the mailing list, just join my mailing list, because I give out good information. What makes me different than anybody else, I'll tell you the good and the bad, and you can always get a hold of me. I'm the only person that does that. I answer my own phone. I answer my own emails. Thank you for listening to me, like I said, for the last 20 minutes. Happy New Year, everybody. This is it's New Year's Eve, and let's see. Well, just have a good night. Have a safe night. I'll talk to you later.